Greetings and welcome to the energy of Virgo. This is Ron from Tarot of the Twin Sun. Thank you for tuning into the channel. Yes, we shall look now into a number of things. Firstly, the astrological primer for the energy of Virgo, okay? And we'll look primarily to Mercury, which is the ruler of Virgo, that is placed in the 10th house for you. As this occurs, there are a number of aspects that need to be paid attention to. It has to do with Mercury in the 10th house in Gemini. Okay, what is this? This is essentially a place where the mind is naturally at home. Okay, it has to do with the mastery of the voice, it has to do with the mastery with the arts. Okay, and the ability to address certain karmas or the external world in terms of all this. This has to do with analysis and the ability to perceive in an intellectual way anything that would have to do with others. The thing is that there's a stifling square here that has to do with your 7th house in the energy of Neptune in retrograde in Pisces, okay? So Mercury is naturally at home in Gemini in the 10th house. It's creating a square that has to do with karmic ties to another, okay? With Neptune retrograde in your 7th house in Pisces, okay? Now, the mystery of the axis when it comes to the opposition between Virgo and Pisces, it's a natural 180-degree opposition. It's an aspect that creates tension when it comes to understanding the mystery of another, the abstraction of another. And this gives Virgo ultimate wealth when it comes to facing the challenges of karma, of actions, of right thinking, especially thinking becoming a mode of karma. So the very thought, the very fabric of thought becomes challenged by others, okay, especially others who are in a latent dream state or others who are of an etheric sort of becoming. A very spiritual sign Pisces is, and you attract these spiritual people in order to tend to their sacredness, okay? And this is creating challenge, okay? One way to see this as a duty or a responsibility, especially when it comes to your 10th house being aspected by the 6th house with Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius, okay? Meaning that there are things that you can do in terms of meeting your daily ritual as well as meeting your workplace in order to deal with others in such a way that you would help them to transform when it comes to what they're dealing with in conflict, okay? What they're dealing with in conflict, because there is a square that is in the general horoscope of July the 1st, 2022. There is a square between Mars and Pluto in retrograde. There's a great deal of tension when it comes to things that are suppressed, things that want to be transformed, especially when it comes to conflict in the outer world, okay, general conflict in general, that you can learn from by helping others to go through what they perceive their world as being, which is primarily abstract in nature or spiritual in nature. They're going through a crisis. And you can actually learn from them and also produce an effect of duty or responsibility to them with Saturn in retrograde in Aquarius, okay? Ultimately, this is prime time for Virgo to address the lessons that are being gifted to you here, the wisdom that's being gifted to you in your 7th house, how to deal with others and how to deal with karmic responsibilities. Something that you may value right now is tied directly with a conjunction between Mercury and Venus. It's a slight conjunction that allows for insights to come in, that allows for insights when it comes to the outer world to come in, and it will flood you with wisdom and grace and emotional understanding, a purity, a humanitarian edge that will gift you quite a bit, okay? So it's very important to tend to communities, tend to also your friends, tend to other people in general, relationships or affectionate others, to treat these with with great respect, because you will be gifted quite a bit in terms of their own path of transformation, okay, and information that comes through the auspices of Jupiter and Saturn here. The two great teachers are actually giving you a great deal. A great deal. I don't see any major aspects here that would produce a negative effect, other than the solar energy of Cancer, okay? Meaning that people will act in such an emotionally passionate way that it would become befuddling to the sort of mercurial mind that you have, because you want to make logic of it. But if you look deep enough, you will find that there's something about anger that you can perceive from a distance and try to understand in such a way. Now, let's go into the tarot part of this. I like to begin with a bit of karma, and then we'll go directly into the Great Mirror. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, one of two things. If you are feeling a sense of chaos right now, there's something about that that comes from a burden in the past being let go finally, or you carry that burden into the situation now, and that burden becomes a defining sense of order for you that's going around now. This has to do with working with others in general, working with others or not working with others, and then having a sense that it is fated or determined in some sort of way, that it turns out that way. If it's a burden of the past, or if it's an end of a cycle when it comes to a cycle of the heart, it means that what is occurring now is post that. There's something about what what is here that speaks about becoming free and finding hidden gems, finding truth. The idea here is to develop a voice, okay, that would provide stability for others, or others seeking you to find that voice to provide stability for others, something like this. There also is here a need for you to not be reactive in nature, to not really probe or think too much about certain things. There's a great fire here that has to do with burden in the past that needs to be expressed in such a way that it can be set free. The thing is that if you are reacting, there's an element of impatience here that has to do with an order that is trying to be brought about, an ordering of the mind and the heart, as well as the natural sort of the way things unfold. That requires a great deal of patience. Okay, it has to do with also breaking free from a way of thinking that has become stagnant. But I see it as a way to break free. The thing is that the knowledge you have, or the wisdom you have to break free, has already been there, and it's something that has been a tool for you all along. It's just a matter of breaking free out of a certain form of conditioned thought or a conditioned way of thinking. But it's there, and it's a hidden tool, it's a hidden truth, it's some sort of thing that needs to be spoken. Wow. Let's move on. So the Great Mirror is a tool designed by the Order of the Twin Sun in order to see particularities of karma on different levels, the conscious, subconscious, unconscious realms of thought and design. And it will show you essentially how people see each other. One being Virgo, the other the opposite, significant other or insignificant other. Okay. um, if you were to move into this situation or this relationship and to take a chance, both of you would reach somewhere. The thing is that this person has already made the choice, but now they're second thinking it. There's something surprising about them, meaning that they would try to revert a choice they've already made. There's a lot of intensity when it comes to the faith you place in this person. Be careful that it is not blind faith. At the same time, they may see you as, and please don't take offense to this, someone who's a fool. At the same time, this energy, it's not it's not that they see you as harmless or idiotic. No, it's more like there's something that both of you can choose to do in order to meet the Three of Rods. The thing is that what you may find is that uh, ultimately what's going to happen is that you bring the passion, you bring the fire to this connection, not them. Um, there's something very hesitant about them. They also know that you are very much focused on them. Uh, and it's important not to be obsessed. And I'm not calling you all these negative things, no. Um, what I'm seeing is that you place faith above and the heart above all else in this type of connection. There's also a very strong scrutiny, the way you perceive them, critical. You're very critical about their choice. What this choice is, I'm not exactly sure. Let's see. So, they have two choices here. There's something about them that uh, it speaks about doing the right thing, being attentive to the right thing, or to not really thinking too much and going for whatever it is that they want to. One being you, obviously. Um, the thing is that they are somewhat ignorant, and they're trying to be attentive to something that has to do with finding the right path. They've lost their path. At the same time, there's something about them that wants to learn through experience, that wants to also use the intuition, but they don't know where their intuition lies. There's nothing about the intuition here. I think you're acting more intuitively uh, in terms of that. You are more in tune with the natural fire or the natural order of what makes one powerful. And it's important to embrace that. At the same time, you have to listen to the familiars around you, who are familiar, your pets, your plants, your children, anything like that. They would tell you the right thing to do in this type of situation. Um, there also is something about you that can never be satiated in terms of what you give. Like what you give will not be reciprocated in return. At the same time, there is a connection here that is very strong, and it has to do with you becoming innocent in some sort of way. You becoming innocent, and that's not a negative thing at all. That has to do with purity. It has to do with reification and intensity. Okay. Um, yeah, this is a strong connection that activates the north and the south nodes for you. Okay. Um, and that is in your third and ninth houses. This is a lesson of the ages. This is something that you can learn from, something that you can also voice yourself, your opinions about um, quite regularly. The idea here is to not be befuddled by some of the more emotional passions that may exist in terms of the realm of communication or in terms of the dreams that may be occurring for you right now. Mm. Yeah, because I think generally speaking, you don't want to sacrifice good health or good judgment. It's just that you're willing to take the chance. At the same time, there's something about you that even if you took the chance, would you be able to bring love as opposed to passion into this equation? I think that's primarily the question. Because this person is very much tied to dealing with karmas that are outside of your situation. It has to do with their own path, and they're very much absorbed with that. So they want to meet you halfway in some sort of way. The thing is that they're constantly fixated on the choice, becoming empowered through the choice, okay, and having the ability to choose as empowerment. And that's somewhat narcissistic. It's somewhat sociopathic, because it means that they can keep their options open forever. The thing is that it's difficult because this feels more like a power dynamic as opposed to anything. It has to do with also the alleviation of pain, not being able to feel something on a deep level, or getting over that, finding a sense of resolution, coming together with this person, and finding some sort of resolution. The thing is that at the end of the day, is that love, or is it more of an account where you have to like tally up certain resources, time, energy, love, whatever, what have you, the passions. Um, and is passion love? I mean, is romance love? Is that something you're really seeking for? What is it really? Um, yeah, because we have a difference of opinion here. We have the cups on one side, we have the rods on another, the choice being something, and then you choosing, and it turning out to be extreme, sort of like a duplicitous affair in some sort of way. It's just an affair. And I hate to just label it and call it that. You know, these are very personal accounts, but what I'm seeing here essentially uh, is you both of you realizing, coming to the realization that there's something that is lost here. Perhaps it's your own innocence, perhaps it's their own power, and perhaps it's something that both of you should consider. Now, yeah, the idea here is also to see the light of day. There's something very obvious about this connection, and it has to do with Mercury, which is activating your ninth house, actually your 10th house, as well as Virgo, which is your ascendant, as well as the sixth house, Saturn in retrograde. Okay, there is a lesson that can be had here, and it has to do with the way things turn out inevitably, and you becoming a student or a master of the way things turn out and how they turn out inevitably. There is an element of time that is slowed down, that needs to be caught up with in order to see how both of you are vibrating at a very similar frequency, but it's not the same. There's a uniqueness to it. So you have to respect that. That is the best I can say for now. Bye bye.